Hello and welcome everybody to today's video. Welcome to the Vee Academy. My name is Crumbrion, Professor Crumbrion, if you would. And today we're going to be taking a look at a wonderful game that we played on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, and be happy to get your reactions to it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. If you want to follow me and watch games in real time, check me out on twitch.tv/Crumbrion. For now, let's go check out the game. Thanks for watching.
3, 2, 1, go!
Welcome, YouTube. We're going to be taking a look at this match here. After the fact, we're going to do a little callback. Done a couple of streams here before. This one was pretty unique. We're trying out something different with the Gardevoir build that we've been trying out here. Different inspirations of item lock. I know we've tried out Budew. Budew felt pretty good. We're giving the test of just Frillish this time as well. So we're going to be playing with 2 Frillish instead of just one Budew and just one Frillish. We tried the one Frillish build out. Didn't feel exceptionally great, but we're doing 2 Frillish with Air Balloon. In this start here, we see we have, we start with a Screamtail, we have a Ralts, we have Clefairy. We don't know what we're going up against this one, so we're going to put up Clefairy because of the higher HP. The fact that we gave them a card with the mulligan as well, so we kind of want to be a little bit on the safer side. We're not sure what we're going to be playing up again. And it does turn out to be an End Zoroark. So this is a matchup that was key, obviously, in the most recent regional. And Zoroark going up against Gardevoir in the finals. Unfortunate turnout for the finals in that one, but didn't see a full match. But this is an interesting one because we play a little bit differently than what the Gardevoir in the finals did. So all of the Gardevoirs that were playing in Pittsburgh might have been a little bit different if they were playing the card that we just benched there, Mimikyu. Because Mimikyu does turn out to be a fairly interesting card in this matchup. So after that research, we do end up getting like quite a bit here. So we attach to Clefairy. Clefairy does swing for weakness on Reshiram, so we don't have to have crazy amount here to get the KO on Reshiram. We do have a fairly strong board state right now. We have 2 Ralts, we have a Screamtail, we have a Mimikyu. They are good. They are playing the Toedscruel, so they're playing a very similar, if not exactly the same list. I think their list does run End's Castle, so it's a little bit different than what Liam Halliburton was running. But we're getting a fairly close match to what was at the Pittsburgh Regionals here, or what some people may have seen. So I doubt people were running Mimikyu in their build of Gardevoir, which does actually make a huge difference into the Zoroark matchup here. So we see immediately they get Zoroark onto the bench. A bit of a rough spot for us here, not gonna lie, because they end up getting quite a bit done on their opening turn here. They get the Arven, they grab TM Evo, they get Earthen Vessel, they use the TM Evo here for fodder, so that they can grab 2 more Dark Energies here. Pretty wild turn for us, unfortunately. So they go ahead and trade. They're going to trade away, I believe, the Dark Energy here. And they grab 2 cards. Because their opening hand was much more strong than our opening hand was. Like, I mean, we had a fairly strong opening hand with the research start, but being able to get their Zoroark down, their Zoroark out, Toedscruel out with Reshiram, it was kind of a bonkers turn for them, not gonna lie. They get the Ends PP up, and they get the Attach Energy for turn here. So their Zoroark is ready to swing, good to go. So it's a good thing that we actually started Clefairy in this particular match, because Clefairy is able to take 1 swing from Virtuous Flame. It can absorb 170 without dying, so we can at least have Clefairy in the active to take an attack here. We can take out Reshiram, we can force them to have it. We would have preferred to have a research on this turn, but we do get Iono, so Gardevoir goes back in the deck. We do get a Kirlia. We get an Ultra Ball here as well, which is fairly decent. Now we know that Toedscruel is in play. Night Stretcher is completely useless for us until the Toedscruel's gone, so that becomes an expendable card for us. Now we get some more energies in the discard pile here, so we're pretty strong in terms of that. We find out that the second Kirlia is not available to us. We do grab the Gardevoir for a follow-up turn. So we go ahead and just swing for 320. Would have been 160 otherwise. Does double because of the Dragon weakness. We draw an Ultra Ball off of the prize. It's not too bad. So again, fairly solid start for us here. We don't exactly want to be swinging into Zoroark for any significant amount of damage because of Powerful Rage, obviously. We want to be making sure that we're not giving too much damage on the return there, so we're getting a Hilda here. So immediately getting out 2 Zoroarks is not a great situation for us at all. Literally at all, because we're in a very bad spot, considering. So now, Hilda's not boss. They didn't use Arven to grab Countercatcher here, so relatively safe on this turn. Clefairy is going to be absorbing the first attack from Zoroark, which it's helpful for us to a degree because we can have some things to do here. The only problem we're going to run into is we don't have as much energy in the discard pile as we would hope that we did. So End's Castle does go down, one copy of End's Castle that they seem to have. Does get traded away, which is actually pretty good news for us. If we had left the Reshiram alive, obviously the End's Castle would have gone down. So good thing that we ended up having to force them to play that out. They do get a second copy of Reshiram out here, just off of the trades. They go ahead and attach for turn. They're just going to be swinging here for 170 with Virtuous. Night Joker's going to copy the benched attack here, 170. We get our Frillish. So we want our Clefairy to be doing a lot of damage here. Debating on if I want to put Frillish down at this point in time. I think it probably was fine to put it down at this point. We're looking at grabbing Rare Candy here. I don't really want to grab TM Devo. I don't want to show that play just yet. So we grab the Rare Candy because we're going to go into, we're going to put the Ralts into a Gardevoir here because we know that our second Kirlia is prized. We don't have access to it. We're going to grab the Air Balloon just as like fodder or just to put down somewhere. We don't really need it. We just want to show that we have it. Don't want to show that we have Devo. So we put up the Gardevoir. Only have 2 energy available to us, and that's an additional energy. So we have 3 energy available to us if we retreat the Clefairy. Not ideal. Clefairy already taking a big bunch of damage here. So we know that this deck doesn't exactly have a way to attack into Mimikyu, so we can safely put up Mimikyu. We can safely put damage on Mimikyu here. We could Ultra Ball for Monkey, but we have no dark energy available to us. Not even in the discard pile, so there's no point in Ultra Balling on this turn. So we just put the 2 on to Mimikyu here. Now, knowing that there's really no way for the Zoroark deck to put an additional 30 damage counters onto Mimikyu unless they have Munkidori available. They haven't shown that they've been interested in putting Munkidori down at this point, so we seem to be okay in that respect. Some of these builds don't run Munkidori. Some of them do, obviously, but some of them don't, and we're hoping that they don't. A little bit of a gamble. If we lose the Mimikyu here, I mean, we're probably going to lose the game anyways. If they do put that down, but generally Zoroarks don't want to be taking damage off of their Zoroarks, so a little bit of a gamble here, but we'll find out here in just a moment. So Arven's coming down, so again, no boss, but they are going to grab Countercatcher because they are in Countercatcher range. We were already believing that Gardevoir was going to get blown up this turn, either through boss or Countercatcher. That was a play that we assumed was going to be happening, so this is not really a shock. We do have the Mimikyu, so it's powered up. Clefairy is 1 energy away from being powered up, so we're relatively okay in terms of board state right now to be able to combat this Zoroark, this field of Zoroarks currently. So they trade away a dark energy here. I think they're planning for another Ends PP up play. Sending the dark energy in the discard pile. Do take out Guardy, unfortunately. But we have Kirlia, if we can find a way to get the other Gardevoir, which we have Ultra Ball. I believe we might have 2 Guardies in the discard pile at this point in time, but we have Super Rod in the deck as well, so it's an easy put down for Mew because we basically have enough on board for them to be taking enough prizes here anyways. So want to preserve a potential for Gardevoir. We're playing the Night Stretcher knowing that it's going to be burnt from the Toedscruel. I did that on purpose so that we could draw 2 cards off of Mew, and the second card was Countercatcher, so it was actually very important that we did that. Because it's important for us to get 70 damage across 2 Zoroarks right here. What the plan was. Knew that Night Stretcher wasn't doing anything for us. We didn't want the extra card in the hand. We wanted to be able to throw that card away. We didn't have enough for Ultra Ball, so get bossed immediately here. We lose the second Kirlia, which honestly, out of everything that could have been lost on this turn, the second Kirlia is perfectly fine. I'm guessing they probably did play Monkey, but Monkey might be prized at this point because they did play Energy Switch. Common inclusion in Zoroark decks if they play Munkidori. We might have gotten away with one here, but they never, I don't think they ever did pull out Munkidori the entire. So we see Zoroark take out the Kirlia. We have no access to Gardevoir for a very long time now. Pretty well fine. We've basically set up our board to be fighting without Gardevoir for the rest of the game, or a majority of the game. So we end up top decking the TM Devo. They're down to 3 prizes. We go ahead and grab Munkidori here. We get Dark Energy onto Munkidori. Now we can at least start to counter and prepare. We get the damage off of our Mimikyu. So up to this point, they have not gotten their Munkidori out. And we have finally been able to get Mimikyu out of damage range here. Or we'll be able to get Mimikyu out of damage range. We've taken damage off of Clefairy. We're counter-catchering up the Toedscruel here. Toedscruel comes into the active. This is an important one here. So now we can hit TM Devo. We can knock out 2 of the Zoroas on the field and remove 3 Dark Energies. So we could have waited this turn and waited to get all 3 Zoroas in danger range and then TM Devo all 3 of them. But it was important to take the energy off the field this turn because they're going to be stranded for a turn here with the Toedscruel in the active, which is an important situation for us, right? Putting them down to 3 prize cards here. It also is a situation where if we wait too long, they could very well have just gone after our Clefairy, got the energies, got the Toedscruel out of the active, done a whole bunch of other stuff that would have been very good for them. So very nice that it was debatable at the time, but looking back at it, it was the correct move to TM Devo on that turn because it forces them to have to play this turn completely differently. So they need to get their Toedscruel out of the active. There's a number of ways they could do that. They could attach and retreat the Toedscruel right now, but that would mean that they're missing an attachment on their Zoroark, so it's not beneficial for them to do so. They could Turo, which would burn a Turo, which they do indeed play in this list. See if Pheasantipity hit the board as well. So now Pheasantipity is a viable option for us to be able to finishing out the game. So we're both at 3 prizes too. This is a very important distinction. We're both at 3 prizes now. Very, very keen that this is happening. I mean, our opponent could have done something differently here as well this turn. They could have retreated into a Zoroa this turn. They could have done something different to kind of get themselves set up for a following turn. But without End's Castle, they don't have a very good way to retreat anything that doesn't have an energy on it unless they have air balloons, which we're going to see here, I believe, in this turn. They were digging for an air balloon this turn, so Toedscruel goes back down. Could have been much differently. It could have been much different if they attached and retreat. But they attach the energy to Zoroark. They go Buddy Poffin, so they get their Zoroas back down after the Super Rod, so they're setting up their board state again here. So we do have Secret Box, we do have TM Evo, we do have more monkeys. No bench space on the Munkidoris though. So they've locked their bench. There's no Munkidoris coming out. We know that we're safe there. So we take more damage off of Clefairy because Clefairy has a lot more damage on it. We're using the energy bank on, and we're using the damage bank on Clefairy. before it gets knocked out, because Clefairy is going to be the next target for them. They have 3 prizes left. They can't exactly win the game by knocking out Clefairy, but that will be the next target that they're going after. Easier target for them to take out, and then they just have to boss up a single prizer outside of Mimikyu. So if we continue taking the damage off of Clefairy, when Clefairy gets knocked out, and we still have damage left over on Mimikyu to make use of, which actually does become significant later. Very important information. So we're going to Ino them again here. We're going to grab a Stadium. We're going to grab Super Rod. Super Rod will circumvent the Toedscruel, so we can get our Gardevoir line back in the deck here, which is going to actually be very important. Both of our Gardevoirs are in the discard pile, so we get Ralts, Kirlia, and Guardy back into the deck now. We're going to Ino them down to 3 once again. Not that it matters, because they're going to get pretty much everything that they need here back out, so I think we're going to Earthen Vessel. I don't believe we grab anything here. We just grab a Psychic and for attach, right? Attach to Clefairy to start threatening the Clefairy again. So now the Clefairy is becoming a threat once more. We get the Gardevoir in hand. We get the Arven in hand. We have Rare Candy basically in hand as well, because Rare Candy is in dex. We put 70 big damage onto Toedscruel. Significant damage on Toedscruel, actually, because that will come into play later. We need to take 3 prizes in a single turn to win this game. We have no more TM Devos. We've already used TM Devo, the TM Devo in the deck. So we have no way of getting damage onto Zoroark enough for us to Devo the entire field once again to win the game. So we need to be a little bit more careful about how we play this. So the end Zoroark that's on the bench that has 30 damage on it is actually going to be significant too. As we pushed over 30 damage with Munkidori earlier in the game to get that into range. It's going to be pretty significant moment. So they're going to trade here a couple of times. I believe they play Arven. They grab everything that they need here. So they're going to grab Ens PP up. They're going to grab Air Balloon. And then they have interesting turn here. Obviously taking a little bit of time to think, because they're in a very tough position right now. Actually, it might be the next turn. I believe it's this turn that they... Right, the Secret Box. This is important for them. Secret Box is going to grab them boss's orders, because they need to get the second Clefairy out of the... Not the second Clefairy. They need to get the Clefairy into the active here. So this is what surprised me. They had Professor Turos and they had Iono. They threw away Professor Turos, and so that was their chance to pick up Toedscruel. And I guess in their mind, if they take up Toedscruel, then we can get our resources from the discard pile back. We've already put Gardevoir back in the deck. I don't think this was a smart move for them to do. So they grab Ens PP up, they grab Air Balloon, they grab boss's orders. This telegraphs exactly what they're looking to do. They're looking to attack my Clefairy this turn, which is fine. It works out okay, because we have pretty much all the resources we need on board now at this point. So they're going to load up the Zoroark. And we've already planned for this, mind you. We've already planned for this. We just need a bench space. We don't play Turo in this list anymore. We need a free bench space to get Ralts down and buy a turn so we can get Gardevoir. So this is all playing into what we need to have happen here. We need to have a bench space open up. We need to for them to burn their last boss. So like they've used 2 bosses and 1 counter catcher so far. Chances are they have 1 counter catcher left. Doubt they play 3 bosses in this list. They have 1 or 2 counter catchers left. Well, they're going to go down to 1 prize here, which neutralizes their counter catchers. They're going to take the knockout on Clefairy here. We promote Mimikyu, and so now if they have no Gust available, they have nothing that they can do about Mimikyu. The only thing that they can do is they can Munkidori, because we've left Mimikyu in that particular situation where Munkidori could be significant. So now with the damage, if we had taken the damage off of Mimikyu earlier, we wouldn't have this play. But we put 30 damage over onto the Toedscruel, so now Toedscruel's in danger. We don't have enough damage on board yet, though, because we don't have a Gardevoir to put that damage back on our Pokemon. But we're going to Ghost Eye here for a big 70 damage to bring Zoroark up to 100 damage. So Zoroark has 180 HP left. So now we're in a situation where if they do not take a knockout on this turn, if they do not gust something up this turn and knock it out, then we actually have a 3-prize turn next turn. So they play down Artisan. They trade. They're looking for a boss at this point, unless I don't think that they have another one. I don't know the list per se, but I would think that in the amount of cards that they have, they would be able to find a boss's orders here easily. If they had it, they've wasted 2 bosses already. They played a counter catcher earlier, and they show one more counter catcher here. I believe it was a trade away a counter catcher. Yeah, this. They had 2 bosses, 2 counter catchers. I believe that I don't think they have any more gust. So they need to gust here if they want to win the game. Otherwise, they don't know that we have Gardevoir. They might think that they have another turn here that they can fish for a little bit more. We're out of counter catchers ourselves. We're out of gusting ourselves, so we don't have any more plays at this point. We could have, if we had a second TM Devo and a gust, we could have gusted up the Zoroark, put 70 on that, and then put 30 damage onto the Toedscruel for a 3-prize turn that way. It would have taken 2 turns to do, but they're going to start loading up Fezandipity, which is something I anticipated them doing as a potential for closing out the game. They want to attack the bench for 100 damage because they have no other gusting. That signifies to me that they have no other gusting available by attaching to Fez. Either that or they're trying to get around ways of me locking him into the active. So they have Tonight Joker for 0 damage because Mimikyu blocks the damage. That buys me all the time that I need because we have Arven, we have Rare Candy. Arven grabs Rare Candy. We evolve to Gardevoir. Retreat the Mimikyu to the Gardevoir. Power up the Gardevoir. We're going to be doing 30 damage to the benched Toedscruel with Adrenabrain, and then 190 to the active for knockout for 3 prizes to complete the absolutely insane comeback. Our opponent concedes because they see the writing on the wall. So, again, a lot of decks out there that are playing that aren't playing Gardevoir. They don't exactly they play Gardevoir. They don't play Mimikyu is what I was going to say. A lot of decks don't play Mimikyu, and I think Mimikyu is a very good addition to Gardevoir for situations like this because it makes the matchups into your hardcore counters, like Charizard, like Zoroark. If it buys you a turn and that turn can win you the game, it is worth putting in. I know a lot of people turn their nose up at stuff like Mimikyu, but this example right here is exactly why. It forced my opponent to use all of their gusting early in different situations to get around the Mimikyu. We didn't have access to Gardevoir until the very end of the game. Gardevoir came back in and wins us the game, and that's all in part to Mimikyu doing a massive, massive amount of heavy lifting in this match. So I would urge people to give it a try. Obviously, the item lock didn't really come up in this one, but it was a very good showcase on how strong Mimikyu is into a deck like Zoroark that just won Pittsburgh Regionals against Gardevoir. Fielded Gardevoirs, actually. Didn't lose too many Gardevoirs at all. And that's because Gardevoirs were not really playing anything to stop its worst matchups. I mean, they were playing to their heaviest matchups, obviously, and dark Pokemon are not being played super heavily right now, but if you want to give yourself the best chance to win, I think Mimikyu is a great addition. So if you enjoyed this video, if you want to try out the list, it'll be in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, always helps. And it certainly lets me know that you want to see more of this kind of content. So give us a subscription, follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Crambrion as well, and we'll see you in the next video.